Pegasusangel here, and welcome to Vlogmas Day 11. Today we're actually going to be talking about one of my favorite Christmas traditions that I think started in 95 or 96, but we don't have those two letters because we didn't know what was going on. This is letters. All of these are letters from the Nutty Elf. And I was telling you guys I was going to talk a little bit about who the Nutty Elf was and what exactly it was about, because it was one of my favorite traditions. So basically, the Nutty Elf would come at a different time each December. We wouldn't know when. It was usually when we weren't home. Like, it was always when we weren't home. And he would leave, like, stockings out, and he would take all our stockings down and put peanuts in them. The year I had braces, he put candy in my stocking because I couldn't eat peanuts, and other nuts like Brazilian nuts, things like that. And he would also write a letter. And once we started realizing this was a yearly thing, my mom started actually dating the letters. This one's from 97, and then the last one that he ever wrote is from 2010. But she started dating the letters for us, and she kept most of them. We are missing the one from 2003, and we're missing 95, 96 ones as well. But other than that, we've got pretty much all of them here, which is awesome. But basically, the Nutty Elf let me name him. Like, in 96, I was given, it was either 95 or 96, I can't remember when, there was a note and nuts, and we didn't know what was going on, because we lived in a big town at that time, and it was a little bit creepy, and we didn't know what was going on. We still don't know who did the Nutty Elf to this day. Like, nobody knows. Everybody we thought it was has been ruled out for various reasons. But they wrote a note the first time they came and said, you can name me whatever you want, and I named it the Nutty Elf. And that would have been when that would have been when my sister was like 1 or 2, when Nana was like 1 or 2. So yeah, some of these letters are really nice. I'm gonna read the last letter the Nutty Elf wrote, because that was the one that was really sad, because that was the one where the Nutty Elf was like, it's time for me to stop coming now. You're both 18 now. So, and the writing is atrocious, so forgive me if I can't read it very well. Well, it says our real names, but Nano and Pegasus, greetings. And fine time from the Nutty Elf or something. And something time from the Nutty Elf. 21 years I've been trying to get this Christmas thing right. The snowman calendar says, boop-a-doop-a-doo, I'm right. The calendar says it's the 24th, and I saw Santa, and he concurs. It's really hard to read this, guys. I'm, something, it's really Christmas Eve. I'm probably excited that it's really Christmas Eve. Can you imagine 21 years? 21 years. That's how many years this elf has been coming to our house. I'll celebrate by leaving the candy and peanuts in the stockings I wear. So he put like there were like little stockings hung up around the house, little bitty stockings, and he put like peanuts in all of them. I'm just a little guy, and they were like super little, and it was so creative. I don't know who did this, but it was so creative. I left the rest of the goodies in one of your mom and dad's bowls. And then this says, Pegasus is 23, and Nano is 18. Gray is getting in my beard, and now I've left something, my shoes. Oh, I left you my shoes. There we go. Guess that's about time for me to retire. And that made us so sad. I hope you girls have an amazing life. And that made us so sad. Like, we were so sad whenever we got this note. And then, I'm sad, no doubt, but who knows? When you get married and have kids of your own, I may pay a visit to your kids. And that'd be really cool. Love, always the Nutty Elf, right at last. So yeah, like the handwriting is atrocious, as you can tell. It's very hard to read. But that was the last letter that the Nutty Elf sent us, and that's when the Nutty Elf retired, and they haven't been to our house since. Now, if any of us ever have kids, which I'm hoping eventually one day to actually adopt a child, then the Nutty Elf might come to our house. But then we have this one. This is the one from 97. This is the earliest one we know of that we actually kept, because I don't think we kept the other two. So, hi, Nano. Hi, Pegasus. Hi, Nano. Greetings from the Nutty Elf. You moved to Unnamed Town. I bet you thought I couldn't find you. Your house does not have a chimney. I almost couldn't get in. Santa called me and told me I was early again, but I was already here, so I made my delivery anyway. Merry Christmas, love the Nutty Elf. And that would have been when I was like 97. I would have been like 10 maybe. So yeah, this was an awesome tradition, and we still don't know like who did it. And then there's one more that I'm going to read because that's my graduating year. This is 2005. This is when I graduated from high school, or after I graduated. Dear Pegasus and Nano, I've had a tough weekend. Pegasus all the way from a college at Unnamed Town, which was about 6 hours away, and getting blowed into a dirty snowbank. I get to your house, and Mystic and Toru, those were our cats at the time, bat me around like a mouse. I got in between them while they were eating. On the way back from Unnamed Town, when you guys stopped, I nearly lost you when you left me at McDonald's. When you left at McDonald's. McDonald's was always my favorite fast food restaurant. I'm sorry. Got on the wrong exit. I was able to open up the garage door enough to get away from those cats and deliver the nuts. Now I find that I'm still a few days early before Christmas. The tradition continues. Hopefully I'll see you on time next year or sometime. Love the Nutty Elf. So yeah, that was my graduating year. That was when I went to a college about 6 hours away, and that was basically him talking about watching us travel from the college to the house. So all in all, that has probably been my favorite Christmas tradition. I am really grateful that my mom was smart enough to save the notes, most of them, because it's really cool to just look back at them over the years and be like, oh my gosh, that's when I was this old. That's when this happened. You know, it was really cool, and it was always so fun because we never knew when the Nutty Elf would come. So, like, anytime we left the house, we would be, like, hoping the Nutty Elf would have come when we got back. It was really cool. It was sad whenever, in 2010, the Nutty Elf was like, well, you're both old enough now that I can move on. 10 years ago. But it definitely was a good tradition, and if anybody ever wants to start a tradition like that with their kids, I think that would be a good tradition. Just do the same thing that whoever this person is, because I don't know who it is still. Make sure they never find out who it is. Like, do what you can to make sure they never find out who it is, because that makes it even more magical. But now we're going to the Advent calendar, which this is Vlogmas Day 12, or 11, and we read The Incredibles yesterday. And now we get to read The Incredibles 2, which I just know that because I looked in for a minute and I saw Elastigirl. So, here we go. Incredibles 2, which I never saw this movie, so I don't know anything about this movie. The Incredibles were on a trail of a supervillain called the Underminer, who was using his tunneler to rob banks. The Incredibles stopped the giant machine, which grinded to a halt inches from City Hall. They had saved the city, but the Underminer had gotten away in an escape pod. The Incredibles were blamed for the damage to the city and reminded that supers were illegal. Back at the motel, Helen told everyone that they had to obey the law. But later that night, Luscious, best also known as Frozone, told the family that a business tycoon wanted their help to make supers legal again. So they're going to work on trying to make supers legal again. Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and Frozone arrived at Dev Tech, a huge company owned by Winston Dever and his sister Evelyn. Winston wanted the public to see the supers in action. Techie Evelyn showed them a small camera for their supersuits that would record their heroic acts. The first mission would go to Elastigirl. The next day, the family was taken to their new home. Helen found a brand new supersuit and an all-electric elasticycle left for her by Winston and Evelyn. Helen jumped on the new bike and zoomed off to the airport where the Devers were waiting for her. When she got there, Winston explained Elastigirl's first mission. The following morning, Bob explained to Violet and Dash that their mom had left for a new job. This didn't make sense to Violet. So, Mom is going out illegally to explain why she shouldn't be illegal? Bob wasn't sure how to answer, but luckily for him, the school bus arrived. Meanwhile, Elastigirl was trying to stop a runaway hover train. She grabbed a passenger car and stretched into a giant parachute to slow the train down. It stopped just seconds from disaster. A message appeared on the train's control panel. It said, "Welcome back, Elastigirl, the screenslaver." Interesting. Very interesting. Back at home, Bob and Jack Jack had fallen asleep reading a bedtime story. Jack Jack woke up to a noise outside and spotted a raccoon stealing food from the trash cans. The baby ran toward the glass door and passed straight through it. The super baby burst into flames and chased the startled raccoon across the yard. A loud crash woke Bob, and he saw Jack Jack firing laser beams from his eyes toward the terrified raccoon. Bob was excited to see that Jack Jack had superpowers like the rest of his family, but his excitement quickly vanished. Multiple powers equaled a big problem. So he has a lot of powers, apparently, for a baby. Meanwhile, Elastigirl was being interviewed on TV about her train rescue when a hypnotic pattern appeared on every screen. The host, Chad Brentley, said in a robotic voice, "Screens are everywhere. We are controlled by screens, and screens are controlled by me, the screenslaver." The screenslaver threatened to crash the ambassador's helicopter, so Elastigirl sprang into action. She leaped inside the helicopter as it flew above the city and found the pilots in a trance. She smashed the screens to break the hypnosis and rescued the ambassador and everyone aboard. Just as the chopper flew out of control, Elastigirl had saved the day once again. Good job, Elastigirl. With the help of a signal tracker designed by Evelyn, Elastigirl found an apartment filled with hypnotizing equipment. Suddenly, the screenslaver attacked. Elastigirl chased him onto the rooftop. The villain jumped, and Elastigirl caught him in midair. But when she unmasked the villain, it was a confused young man who insisted he was innocent. Back at home, Bob had learned that the Incredible, his old supercar, was owned by a wealthy collector. He found the car's remote control, and Dash snatched it just as a terrible scream rang out. Jack Jack had transformed into a monster and was chasing Violet down the stairs. Now Violet and Dash knew about their baby brother's powers. That's a lot of powers for a baby. The following day, leaders and supers gathered on Winston's yacht while Elastigirl and Evelyn examined the suit camera footage of the screenslaver's lie. Elastigirl knew that the screenslaver used screens to hypnotize people. But what if the screen doesn't look like a screen, she wondered. She examined a pair of goggles. Small screens were built into the lenses. Suddenly, Evelyn forced the goggles onto Elastigirl, and bright hypnotic lights flashed. Elastigirl was in a trance. Uh-oh. There we go. That's bad. She's been hypnotized. Elastigirl woke up in a freezing room. If she tried to stretch, she would surely break. "So you're the screenslaver," she said to Evelyn. Evelyn shrieked, "You're going to help me make supers illegal forever." With that, she placed Elastigirl back under hypnosis. Evelyn called Bob Parr to say that Elastigirl was in trouble and to meet her on the yacht. Bob asked Luscious to watch the kids. After Bob left, 6 hypnotized supers attacked the kids. Frozone rushed to protect them. Dash still had the remote control to the Incredible and used it to summon the car. The kids escaped, and just as the supers covered Frozone's eyes with hypno goggles. Whoo boy! That's scary. Meanwhile, Mr. Incredible had met Evelyn on the Dev Tech yacht. I can't talk. When Elastigirl appeared and attacked her husband, Helen, Mr. Incredible cried. It's me. Elastigirl slid a pair of hypno goggles over his eyes. He fell silent and still. Winston welcomed his guest aboard the yacht. During a group photo, Evelyn hypnotized everyone and ordered the supers to speed up the yacht and destroy the controls. The ship was on course to crash into the city. Uh-oh. Scary. Scary. The kids used the Incredible to get to the DevTech yacht. When they arrived, the ship had already left, but the Incredible wasn't just any old car. It sped off the pier, landed with a splash in the water, and sailed toward the ship. The kids boarded the yacht and burst into a conference room. Jack removed Elastigirl's goggles, who then quickly took out Mr. Incredible's and Frozone's too. Evelyn, watching from the control room, ordered the hypnotized supers to attack. But the Incredibles and Frozone removed everyone's hypno goggles. Before long, the supers were released from Evelyn's control. Yay! Mr. Incredible moved the rudder to turn the yacht and stop it from crashing into the city. Meanwhile, Evelyn was escaping in a jet when Elastigirl arrived. As the jet flew higher, Elastigirl grabbed a flare gun and shot Evelyn's oxygen tank, which ruptured and hurled the villain through the windshield. Elastigirl jumped after her. Just before they hit the ocean, Void, one of the supers, created as a portal, and Elastigirl and Evelyn landed on the deck of the yacht as it came to a grinding halt in front of the city. Finally, the real Screenslaver was arrested and the city was saved. Very interesting. Once again, the supers were recognized as heroes. A judge thanked them for their extraordinary service and made them legal. Driving along in the Incrediwagon, the Incredibles were ready to take on anything that came their way. Alright, that is the end of that book for today. Thank you guys so much for watching this Vlogmas. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like on it. If you didn't, leave a dislike. That's okay too. Also, leave a comment down below because I do try to reply back to all comments. And I hope you enjoyed the story about the Nutty Elf and some of the fun stuff. Like, all these letters have different things that were happening at the time, and it's so exciting. And I hope that it encourages some of you to actually go out and maybe be a Nutty Elf for someone in the future. But anyway, guys, much love, everybody. Mwah! Go out there, go spread some love and positivity today because you never know who needs it. And I hope to see you guys today at, well, I should be streaming at 4 on YouTube, but by the time this comes out, it will be at 9 with Virtue's Last Reward. So I hope to see you then. But much love, guys, and I will see all you guys later. Bye, everyone!